Welcome back to the third episode of Guess the MMR. This is going to be the laning stage episode, so we're going to be breaking down every single laning stage of your replays. You guys submitted them to the GameLeap YouTube community tab, and I greatly appreciate that. So let's break it down and get right into it. So the first player we're going to be following is Net on the Lifestealer. First off, just looking at starting item builds, this is something I'm going to be doing for a lot of the players. His build is definitely unorthodox. It's something that I don't think is terrible, but the issue with this build is that once you get the Banyan Runes, unless you manage to get 4, there's no chance you're going to be able to get a Quelling Blade right out of the side shot, meaning you won't have a Quelling Blade for the first wave, which could set you back on your level 2 spike, which actually is a massive deal in a lot of side lanes. So for him, I would just drop the branches, frankly, to make sure I can get that Quelling Blade. Because frankly, that's really what matters more so in this laning stage, the Quelling Blade over the branches. So just right off the bat, I like that he's controlling the wave over trading with the Underlord and helping with his Rubik too much. He did miss a few of the denies, gets that one. Overall, I kind of like his general movement. Slightly late on the Diagro, but in general, I think he's doing a nice job keeping it back. Overreacts, frankly, okay, this is, I think, his first mistake. He overreacts to this Underlord Q completely. It's level 1, it barely does anything. Frankly, he could eat a tango and regen the entire thing and continue to get the last hits of the denies. So this was just, frankly, not knowing the matchup, and now he's just way too far away. So not the end of the world, obviously, but I really like to look for the little things when trying to get an estimate. Like, see, why is he getting the denies? It doesn't make sense. Like, literally, he got hit by 1 tick and it did, like, 10 damage. A bit sloppy, so I wouldn't put this at Immortal for that reason. Also, once again, he didn't have the Quelling Blade, so he's not getting perfect CS. Misses one to get that. But in general, nothing too crazy happening right now, but you can even tell, like, from these early waves on how you control the wave and how you estimate your opponents on how well you're doing. Because frankly, he's just missing CS for no reason, which puts me off a bit. Alright, so coming up here, I have one little issue with this gameplay. He's currently level 5, so he's basically been free farming the entire lane, right? That's fine. Nothing to talk much about there. Just last hitting and denying. But here, I really want to see him apply aggression, right? Like, even if it's on one creep, I want to see aggression applied. Why are you backing off? Like, you're level 5, this guy's level 3. Why are you playing like he's level 8? I really see this a lot where players just don't acknowledge the fact that they're ahead. Your Rubik's right here, you're not going to kill him. What the heck? You're not going to kill him, but like, just hit him 3 times. Instead of trying to get a deny against an Underlord, a hero with 20 extra damage and a Quelling Blade, just hit him, right? Just hit him. It's really that simple. Right? In fact, if you hit him, you're going to draw aggro, prevent the creep from getting in last hit range, which baits out the opponent. That's a slightly complex, but the idea is, like, if you're ahead, play like you're ahead. I mean, once again, I think his last hitting puts him at a generally higher level, but once again, like, why isn't he hitting him here? I just want to know, dude. Like, come on. You're level 5 to a level 3 in a strength versus lifestealer matchup. You have to apply some aggression. And really, it's just a pattern from there. I think he's just so focused on getting his Midas and farming that he completely dismisses the enemy, and that's like a big thing for me. People don't look at the laning stage as shutting down your opponent. They look at it as like, how can I amplify my farm and help myself? But it has to be a mix. It has to be a mix, or else you're just not going to go up as fast as you might want. And not only that, I think him rushing Midas here is like, it's okay, but at the same time, if he rushes boots, he can apply a lot more aggression. What is going on? All right, I'm going to end this clip there. I think his last hitting is good, but his recognition of harassing is not that good, which makes me think he's like high, but not that high. So I'm going to guess, oh, this is really hard. Guessing off lane is really hard because you don't see too much. Like, it could be a legend player just with really good last hitting mechanics, but I'm going to guess Divine 1. That's my take. Okay, so this player was actually legend 4. Yeah, I mean, frankly, guys, like, it is relatively hard for me to guess, so this is going to be actually extremely interesting. Honestly, like, it's really easy to kind of tell where people start making mistakes when things get, like, clustered, because frankly, the laning stage is kind of straightforward, but yeah, you lack a lot of pressure. That's what I would say here. There's a complete disregard for your opponent, and as a result, if you can amplify that up, your last hitting's good, but at the same time, like, you're not contested by anyone, so it's hard for me to even gauge that, and you completely overreacted to the Underlord Q, so you gotta just kind of learn the matchups a bit, spam Lifestealer, and pressure your opponent when you have a lead. Like, players like Anna will literally lose an entire wave to shut down someone who's behind, so take that into consideration. Alright, next up, we are going to be following Jiraiya on the Faceless Void. I was a bit off on the last guess. I mean, I got the vibe that maybe he was a legend player, but I definitely guessed a little bit too high. Okay, already, like, why are you running away from the rune? I would just let that Pudge hook me and just hit him. Like, worst case scenario. That was definitely a big overreaction once again to your opponents. I think that's kind of like a big thing. It's just a lot of experience at some point of like knowing who you need to be afraid of or not. Because frankly, like, okay, I don't really understand why you fully just disregarded the first last hit. Didn't get that one either. Your Enchantress is auto-attacking, but frankly, like, you just have to get used to that. Like, even if someone's griefing you, I honestly, like, people complain about that stuff. I don't care. Like, you just have to be better at last hitting. Like, everyone gets contested, but, like, if you want to go open MR and you're confident you're going to carry the game, you just have to be able to beat your ally at last hitting. It's really that straightforward. You can't complain. You just have to do better. All right. I mean, not atrocious, but definitely not the best. Okay, so I have one major gripe in this lane, and it's actually a big thing for me, like, where I already just want to put this much lower. You have yet to use any of your regen. Like, just then and there, like, just that makes me want... There's just such a lack of trading, and frankly, the lower and lower you go in MMR, the less trading you do. It's just how it is. Like, if you don't believe me, watch a ton of replays, and you'll start to notice that same trend. The higher and higher you get, the more regen you commit, because the more people trade and the more effective people trade. So frankly, if you have 6 tangos and you click on this guy and you see this, like, do you see the advantage you're in right now? It's brutally clear. He has no mana, no HP regen, he's level 2, you're level 3, you're a Faceless Void, one of the best traders in the game, and you have 6 tangos and a salve, and you're playing defensive. You're not hitting him. He's hitting you right now. He's hitting you. And you're not hitting him back. Like, there's such a lacking of understanding of the regen management, which is such a big deal in the laning stage. If you're confused why you're losing lanes, a lot of it starts with regen management. Now you ship out a wand, which makes no sense. You're against a Legion and a Pudge. Why would you ship out a wand? Just buy a stick at the side shop? You know what I mean? And at the same time, if you're ahead, guys, very quick note, this is super important. If you're ahead in a lane, buy boots. Right? If you're crushing your lane, buy boots so you can attack move more effectively and get off more auto attacks. It's that simple. If you're an advantage, buy boots to push that advantage. Not a magic wand. You don't need a magic. And there are situations where, yeah, like wand could be good to push an advantage if you're against a bat or a bristle, but not against Legion. And yeah, like, frankly, I just think similar to this lifestealer, you're not even... It's very clear to me that a lot of the reason why people can't win their lanes is because they just don't care about their opponent. Guys, if you want to play the highest tier Dota, you have to understand how to play the game fast, and you have to understand how to just abuse your opponents when they're making mistakes. Because this guy is literally walking into the wave. He's not creep aggroing at all, and you are not punishing him, and you still have 6 tangos and a salve. Why are you running away? Like, come on, man. Like, this is a simple fix, so I'm actually, like, glad. I think your last inning is like, okay, it's alright. The inch is, like, messing with you a bit, so that's just life. But really, like, no matter what your teammate is doing, you still, if you want to win these games, you have to take the measures necessary, which in this case would be to bully this guy due to what he's building. He is rushing a Blade. Come on, dude. Like, you can't let him get away with this. There's a reason why no pros do this. It's not because they know something you don't, it's because it sucks. Yeah, like, and it's really just the same pattern. If you watch Anna's Void replay, I highly recommend it. You watch one of his grand final games where he was playing Void. He just literally abuses his Tidehunter, trading regen for his regen because he knows he's an advantage, especially with his Grimstroke. Yeah, that's a big sign for me of a high MMR player, so I'm going to move ahead a bit, maybe around towards the 10-minute mark, and then take my guess. Alright, so now you have Chrono. I really want to see you play more aggressive, at least now. Right? Alright, buying Morbid Mask first. This is definitely meh, in my opinion. It's not terrible, but meh. Okay, you hit him. I mean, alright, I feel like you could have even just gone on him there. If you time walked onto him, because he committed Fissure. Once he committed Fissure, he's committing his defensive capabilities. Alright, helping out with your teammates, that's not bad. Last hits are solid. Yeah, your attack moving isn't the best, right? Like, frankly, you could be getting an extra auto attack in. Like, alright, I'm going to take my guess. So, I'm going to have to say this is on the lower end. Even though your last hits are solid, you're really just straight up ignoring your opponents. So, I'm going to have to guess this is Archon 3. Alright, so you are actually Guardian 7. Yeah, dude, really, like, I think you have the right ideas of last hitting. You have to start playing against your opponents. Like, it's really that simple. If you're the type of player who thinks, you know, like, I'm held back because of this Enchantress, I'm gonna make your life real simple. You gotta stop caring about this Enchantress player and start hitting your opponent when they don't have any tangos. Because really, I like the path that you're on. I think your item build is generally good, but you're not using your advantage in terms of your item build to win the game. Alright, now we are going to be looking at a mid replay. This is Crystallis on the Monkey King. Master tier, so he's gotta be pretty good at the least, right? You can't be master tier and that bad, I think. But regardless, excited to be looking at a mid replay rather than another safe lane one. This is going to be a Monkey King against an Ember matchup. Pretty notorious because Monkey King for a long time was a go-to counter to Ember Spirit. but there are actually a lot of people who think this matchup is more even than you may think. So yeah, let's get into it. First off, I already like that he's looking for these Jigyus, right? This for me is a big thing of high MMR players, right? A big sign of it if this is a high MMR player, strictly because he's not overcommitting to the harass. He understands the value of chipping people down, but not overcommitting, right? Monkey King is a 0 armor hero, so even just from him taking this amount of harass, he's taking around like, what, 150 damage? So yeah, I kind of like that first wave. Maybe I'd like to see him push it in a little bit more though. Okay, this is good, right? Right here, I actually have to rewind that. That's super important, guys. Just look at this clip here. So look at the wave.